Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, many people ask me those questions sometimes, and they say, where does the Lenca people fit? And it depends where you are. If you are in Latin America, they have a different idea of what the Lenca people are. But if you are in Australia, in Europe, in Asia, they actually don't know what the Lenca is. Is it a product? Is it a people? Is it a region? Is it a county or a country? So often I have to start from the A, B, C, D of the Lenca subject matter. And as a tribal chief, it's my role to hold not just the tradition, but also to update the narrative as political system form, like new republics or new departments or new counties. It is important for me to update the narrative and make sure that I tell the story as it is, layering the ancient wisdom, but also updated with the contemporary data. And I think one of the, just like every process in indigenous cosmovision, we have to start from the past to arrive to where we are. This is a meeting point where the past, the present, and the future meet. And one of the things that is interesting is, in a sort of simplistic way, if we see North America, Central America, and South America is the only land in the planet that touches the two polar regions. Therefore, the land in the planet that was vastly available to live in, people lived on it for a long, long period of time until the last ice age crept in and actually froze a lot of the polar areas, the North and the South Pole. And this forced animals, sea animals, air animals, land-based animals, as well plants, to die, and those who could move towards the center of the planet, hence that's Central America. And that's the area where my ancestors were able to forge a nation that was made of many people that were coming dispossessed, displaced, and looking for shelter or looking for an opportunity. Not everyone was a victim. Some people were actually looking for a better life, or they have the products to offer, so they could buy their way in because we needed their product. Everyone needed each other at the time of the Ice Age. It was a global difficulty that everyone suffered around the planet. So what happened was, at that time, the monarchy was early, but it was already established, the House of the Jaguar, which is Tita Ulepa. It was established by the great Guara, and the territory was called Managuara, which is the powerful Guara, the powerful Mako. And they were able to manage and to steward the growing nation. And one of the greatest principles was that this Mako realm didn't force people to become what they were. They said, no, 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 we are special because we were ordained by the Mako. But you can keep your traditions, your beliefs, your language, your way of being. Just don't do war and don't change the name of the land beneath you, and respect the house of the ruling house, and you can be part of us. As a result, it was a very successful recipe, and Central America ended up having one of the most unusual heterocracies, which is a quasi sort of representative nation because they have a great council, one casco, ruled by a house, an ancestral house, that allowed people that were not related by ancestry or language or culture to be part of the Great Federation. So the Mako house, it epitomized the link, the bridge that the land itself shapes in the actual world. So this philosophy is linking the Condor people of the South, the Eagle people of North America, in one coalescing opportunity in the middle, while the polar areas are thawing and the oceans are coming up, the 30 meters that they had to rise after the melting of the poles. And when all that was done, part of our land was inundated, and so some people have to go back to warmer lands as the lands were warming up. So when someone asks, who are the Lencas don't have a unique language, don't have a unique culture, don't have a unique color, they don't have a unique DNA. It's an agglomeration of cultures that faced one of the most destructive phenomena in the planet and the humanity history, and they did it with such wisdom that instead of building walls to shelter themselves from those people coming in, they actually reached out and said, bring what you have, consolidate our little land bridge, and let's live together. Maybe one day this passes, and it did. When the Ice Age was ended, North American tribes never forgot their home, where they came, and they took with them back their languages. So all the Cherokees, all the other tribes of North America, they have their own languages, because we didn't force anyone in they came to Central America to refuge, to speak our language, to look like us, to breathe with us. We just were hosts to these people that already were complete. They have language, religion, sciences, philosophies. So it wasn't up to us to impose that, and hence the coming in and going out of this nation was relatively unharmed for each other, for us and for them. And that's an example of how the house of the Maco, now called the Titaulepa because it's ruled by the Taulepa, the Jaguar dynasty, has, since the Ice Age, played a role of the broker or the diplomat to unite peoples that come from the extremes, be that geographically, physically extreme, or ideologically extreme. And as a result, you will find that in one of our last kingdoms that we have by marriage, we married one of our princesses in Oshwetik, and that became Copan. Copan is the modern name. We used to foster dialogue of scholars. We were not written culture, but we used narrative to debate the problems and the solutions of our nations. And in 900 AD, around that, Copan collapsed. The royal family collapsed, and we absorbed all the citizens that they passed into our territories, in what is Honduras, El Salvador, and part of Nicaragua, and a bit of Costa Rica and Panama. What happened was, it was the last time when it's recorded in modern history that the council of wise people, of these diplomats, they were always ready to help the other warring tribes to reach an agreement. We were a bit like Geneva, where people could come safely to discuss their differences, sort it out, and then go back and get on with their lives. As a result, you will see that my modern headband exhibits 3 Maco feathers, which is the sacred bird that established not only built the land, but also established and ordered the rules of the monarchy. And it shows the 2 feathers on the side. Every discourse, every problem, every geography has polar distance from the center. There will always be polarities, extreme places, and extreme views. But the house of the Maco, the house of the Jaguar, Central American natives, ideally should have the philosophical strength and the patience to see beyond polarities and be the unifying voice that bring the thesis, the antithesis to the synthesis, so that a solution can be found that includes and transcends the polarities being put on the table. And in the contemporary work, some of my Lenca citizens around the world that have to leave their home during the civil war in El Salvador, conflicts in Honduras, Nicaragua, they amazingly, they follow the footsteps of our ancestors and our philosophy, because they are in all stratas of society, rich, poor. You'll find them in so many fields, not necessarily wearing things every day that are for events specific, but doing their job the best they can. And amazingly, a great proportion of them are enabling local governments, enabling technology, enabling healthcare, enabling corporate services to be more equitable. It doesn't mean to be socialist or communist. It means to be more equitable, more fair, and that there are more opportunities of access for everyone, so that there is a flow of development, that people can begin in an area that might not be as advantageous, but they slowly can be taught and can be supported as they match their effort and mentoring. So I am so moved by some of my citizens that are supporting other native nations in the United States in their struggles, people in South America, in universities, in Australia, in Europe, in Oceania. There are citizens of our nation everywhere in the world, because they have to go. But despite the fact that they lost that, they haven't chosen to be polarized by becoming militants, armed radicals, and fight and through killing or miming or raping or stealing and resenting the people that have something because they don't have it. Instead, they actually have they leapt into the opportunity that their life has given them, and they have studied, they have developed their knowledge, they haven't replaced what they brought from home, they have included and transcend that, and now they're making a difference across ethnic groups, across religions. They're actually living the philosophy that our ancestors role model during the last ice age, when we were the only safe home for all the cultures, the condor direction and the eagle direction. So I'm very proud to be the current chief, the hereditary chief, and to see the work that all our descendants are doing around the world. So next time when someone asks where the Lencas live, they are everywhere. Anywhere in the world you will find a Lenca. It's just that we don't play it loudly. What do? Whatever is at hand that needs and that will enable and enhance themselves, the environment, society, and the future. So if a problem is a problem that will damage Earth, the ecosystem, and humanity, the Lencas will be part of that solution, because I believe that is the role of all of us. So thank you for your interest in the Lenca people, and I wish you the very best working with them. A cookie. A cookie.